Good afternoon, everyone. Middle of July, French wheat forecast 10% drop in production due to excessive rains. Fast forward, minus 30% now, shrinking down to 29 million tons. This is so far off the Bloomberg chart that they need to redo another chart going down. Russia dominating the export wheat market as French wheat's not even being offered to the buyers in Egypt due to poor quality. Another French crop, rapeseed, well below the 5-year average. Argentinian wheat production down 10% as well due to cool and wet conditions. And in the UK, blackberries not ripening due to cool conditions below average temperatures in the warmest year ever. France, which is the EU's biggest grain producer, down 30% from the forecast of 10% back in July. ODA Group was actually getting it close, calling about double what the government figures were. So if the government figures are coming out saying 30% right now, we can expect more losses. The Bloomberg chart needs to be redone. They need to lower that down into the 20s now. And the culprit, too much water and too little light. They show such a pretty picture here in AgWeb with the rain damage on the French wheat, but in reality, it looks more like this. Russian dominating the export wheat trade. They're not even offering French wheat this year to the Egyptian buyers who bought 17% last year from France of their imports. You have to wonder how this is going to take a toll on the economy if they're not going to be able to sell into their traditional markets. And with the wet conditions that would be expected, different types of mold and blight across the crops, Fusarium and yellow dwarf virus. Look here at what the damaged wheat would look like on the heads. What it's done is degraded the quality from human consumption grade down into feed wheat for animals, turning out to be a lack of milling standard wheat available across the EU. And beyond the actual decrease in the yield, you need to compare the number that's fit for human consumption compared to what the animal feed will be. And currently this year, it's only 68% of all that wheat that comes in is going to meet milling quality for human consumption. So even if we have 100 tons, for an example, only 68 of those tons will be able to process through a facility for us to put into our breads, etc. Continuing on, the French losses of crops, rapeseed, which is another major crop of theirs, significantly below the 5-year average. And when we do jump back in time to the Bonner minimum, the red dots are where there was excessive cool. The yellow is excessive rain. And so far, measured through July, rainfall 38% above the normal levels. And the tons per hectare down below 3. This report on July 12th put it at 7 tons per hectare, but it is down to 3 tons per hectare now. Staying with the decline in wheat production globally, Argentina, wheat production down 10%. The culprit over there as well, wet, colder conditions. Floods through the soybean areas, fields lost 10 million tons of soybean in Argentina as well. And then jump right over to the UK. Spring cold is delaying the ripening of the traditional British fruits, which means that there was the delay in the leafing and flowering of these species. So you can see how as the weather starts to turn cooler and the winter lasts longer, the harvest times are going to be pushed back weeks or months. But in the future, when it starts snowing again in September, we're going to start losing crops because it won't be enough time to mature in the fields. And the yields will be down significantly. And the protein content and the nutrition content of what we normally get will also be lower. So we'll actually have to grow more tons to equal the exact same nutrition content. Thanks for watching. Hope you got something out of the video. A few of the stories that I was chasing down from the July French wheat production decline. were fed to me by Bob over at Trade Genius. He was onto it before the declines even came out in the media so much. Jump over to the site, see how he's trading, write him an email, give him a call. He'll be happy to tell you his trading strategies. Part of that is specifically following effects from the intensifying grand solar minimum.